Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I'm Vikram. In this class, we'll try to understand justify content property for CSS Flexbox. And this is one of the very important property that we need to understand. And the understanding this concept is a bit confusing. So watch this video as many times as possible until you get the clarity. And for the better understanding, watch our previous video where we have discussed the concept of main axis and cross axis. So without understanding the concept of main axis and cross axis, you may not be able to understand what we're going to discuss in this class. So let's go on and try to understand the concept of justify content by using the definition. So justify content property controls how items are aligned along the main axis. So the property justify content will allow the alignment of the elements based upon the main axis. So there are 6 values that are possible for justify content. So these are the values. The first one is flex start, flex end, center, space between, space around and space evenly. So we'll try to understand each and every value very detailedly, and we'll try to understand it slowly so that we can have better understanding of these concepts. Let's go on to our Visual Studio Code and we'll try to understand this concept by using an example. This is the example that I have taken. So the same example which we have taken in the introduction video. So we are having a div container with 2 paragraphs. So the stylings for the div is provided in this file. So this container, so apart from that video, so where we have discussed the basic concepts, so I have added a height of 8 viewport height, VH, 80 VH. So what is the use of this is, so by adding this height, we will be able to understand the concept of Flexbox very detailedly. So that is the reason why I have added a height of 80 VH. So let's see the output first and we will try to understand the concept of justify content later. So this is how our div is looking like. This is our 80 VH height. So previously we don't have this height. So I just added a height, the container height to be 80 VH. So let's see how the Flexbox justify content property will work. So as the definition states that the justify content will always align the items based upon the main axis. So how the main axis is going to vary? The main axis is dependent upon the flex direction. We have discussed that in our previous video. If the flex direction is row, what is the main axis? The main axis is this is horizontal axis is the main axis. If the flex direction is column, then what is the main axis? The main axis is vertical. So based upon the main axis, the elements of a container or the flex box will get aligned. So the first one is flex start. Means starting of all the elements. So what are the elements? We are having 2 paragraphs. So these 2 paragraphs will be aligned to the starting of the flex. And now what is the flex direction? Row. What is the main axis? Is this one. So now what is the start of it? The extreme left of the flex is the start, flex start. So let's see the output. So there will not be any difference. We are going to get the same output. So the flex start is, this is the flex start. So the things are getting aligned to the start of the container or the flex box. Now I'll change the direction. If I change the direction, what happens? If I change the flex direction, the axis will change. Now the main axis is going to be in the vertical direction. So let's see the output. So for the vertical direction, the flex start is going to be again on the top. Previously it is left, now it is top. Previously it is row, so it is left. Now it is column, so it is going to be on the top. Let's see the output. So it is on the top. There will not be any difference. Okay. So now what we will do is we will change this to end, flex end. Now what you have to think is, what is the flex direction? The flex direction is column. If the flex direction is column, the main axis is, what is the main axis? The main axis is vertical. Now what happens? Now can you guess where the content will get aligned? To the bottom of the flex container, because the main axis, so the the justify content property is totally based upon the concept of main axis. Because the flex direction is column, the content will now align to the bottom. So let's see the output. So that see, this is what main axis. Because the flex direction is column, now the main axis is vertical. Now based upon that main axis, the content will get aligned. So now it is going to go into at the bottom of the flex box. I think you got the point. Okay, so now we'll go a little bit faster. So this is center, and what we will do is we will make the flex box to row. Now if you make it as row, now the flex will be to the extreme right because the main axis is row wise. Okay, so now coming back to our another property, which is center. Now if the flex direction is row and justify content is center, it will be in the center of the horizontal axis. So let's see the output. So this is the center for horizontal axis. Now if I change it to column, so the same thing. So to the center of the vertical axis, because main axis. So let's go on to the other properties. Now these properties are very important to understand. Now the flex direction is column, and I am making it as space between. We'll start with space between. So what does that mean is, between the elements that we are having, items of the flex box, we are going to bring equal amount of space between. That is the use of space between. So let's see the outputs here. And what we will do is we'll take 3 elements so that you can have better understanding. So now I'll take third element, third paragraph. Now can you guess? So all these 3 paragraphs, we are going to get a space between all these 3 paragraphs, and they are equally spaced. So let's see that. See, the space between this space and this space is equal. So we are going to get a space between the elements, and that space is equally arranged. Okay, and evenly spaced is different. So what is the next concept is, what we will do is, so this is with respect to column. What if row? What if I take the row? No, if I take this one as row, now evenly spaced but in the horizontal direction. See the output. So even we are going to get a space between, not evenly spaced, we are going to get a space between, but it is in the horizontal direction. Now what we will do is we will take space evenly. So the other property is space evenly, and it is in the row direction. Now what is the difference between space between and space evenly? What is the difference is, so the space between, we are not having this space. To the left and to the right, we are not having the space. Let's see the space between, so that we will get the clarity. See, space between, there is no space allocated to the left and to the right. Now if you give it as space evenly spaced, around the elements also the space is getting generated. So this space is equal to this space and equal to this space and equal to this space. So that is what? That is the concept of space evenly. What is space around? Now what we will do is we will take the column wise also. So with respect to column, we are going to get a space on the top of the element and also bottom and also in between. All these spaces are same size, okay, evenly spaced. So top, bottom and between, all the spaces are equal, evenly spaced. Now what about the next concept? It is space around. Space around, what is the difference? So the space around, we are going to get the space on the top and bottom also, but the difference is the top and bottom space is half the size of the space between. So this space is more in comparison with this, and this space is going to just half of this space. Try to understand this. So the space on the top and bottom, if it is column, So that space on the top and bottom is half the size of space between. Try to understand this. And if we make it as row, the same thing, left and right space is going to halve the space of space between. So I'm just making it as row. Just see the output. See, the left and right hand space is half the space between, half of the width of the space between. Okay. So this is how the justify content will work. It is totally based upon the main axis. And the main axis is totally based upon the flex direction. So this interdependency that you need to understand. So that understanding is very important. Hope you got the clarity on this concept. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. And if you have any doubts regarding this concept, please post your doubt in the comment section below. If you feel that this video is helpful to you, please give us a like and please share this video with your friends so that they will also get benefited. Thanks for watching.